This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Welcome to Swinging Through Comics. Visit mjmunoz.com/STC for notes and links. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment to help me grow. WandaVision, Episode 7, entitled Breaking the Fourth Wall, was very interesting. I liked it a lot. I have a decent amount to say. I'm going to try to get in and out of here pretty quick because, spoilers, it was apparently Agnes all along. She had her own little theme song and stuff. That was interesting to know. There's been so much speculation swirling around the show that it's kind of nice to know, Agnes Harkness that people picked up on before is the right person. She is, this Agatha, what is it? Is it Agatha Harkness? Anyway, I don't remember now. But she shortened her name. Yeah, that's what it is. And then she shortened her name to Agatha, whatever. Or Agnes. Sorry. Agatha Harkness becomes Agnes. Anyway. So that's cool to get that confirmation and for it to be shaping out that there's, an actual villain plot or whatever. There were some interesting seeds planted, like the fact that Vision can't leave the hex or the anomaly or whatever. That's something interesting. The boys ended up going missing. I think whichever one is Wiccan, who has some psychic abilities, said that Agnes is quiet inside, and he was complaining about all the noise he heard in the house versus she's quiet inside. So either, she's empty or masking herself or something, and it felt like it was, foreboding and, setting up something unsettling. But it was good. It was nice that happened, and she willingly got Wanda to give her the boys. And, based on other people's speculation, I wonder if that might be something that has some significance. And honestly, there was a moment in her house, in Agnes's house, where Wanda looked panicked when she realized she didn't know where the boys were. And it was interesting. As a parent, there are moments when your kids get out of your sight or something like that, and it freaks you out because I don't know what just happened. Are my kids lost? Even at the park playing. If you're looking after more than two kids at the park, then it can be easy for one to disappear from your line of sight. Doesn't mean they're lost, but they are gone. And there's those moments of parental panic that, what have I done? I just lost my kid. Where are they? What if I never see them again? And that can all happen within a split second because they're behind a tree, and then you walk or they pop out from behind it, and there you go. The angle of perspective changes, and then it's good they're there. Anyway, this whole thing with Darcy and Vision trying to get back to Wanda. Well, I guess I want to roll back. The framing devices of television that are at use here are just excellent. Having the literally breaking the fourth wall, the characters talking into the camera more like in Modern Family or The Office or one of those types of shows was really interesting because it really I don't know. In those shows, it's fake, and obviously in this it's fake too, but it was fake in a different way. You still get to deeper character motivations and deeper character traits. And honestly, in those shows, don't think they do that in Brooklyn Nine-Nine? It's mostly... No, they don't do that in Nine-Nine. Anyway, it's mostly used to just make a joke out of a situation, but it can be used to be incisive and to get into who the characters are, and I feel like that happened a little bit in this episode. So that was pretty cool to see, and I liked that. So one of the things I was toying with what alternate title to give this episode, to talk about what's going on underneath the surface, and I wanted to say something about Out of Control. I thought it was interesting that Wanda's powers were so on the fritz and everything kept changing, and she was just losing it really. And I liked how the chaos in her house and of her house almost literally changing into even bare frames reflects the emptiness and the chaos in Wanda's mind as she's reeling from the loss and pain of Vision. And it was really effective, especially because her waking up in bed and reaching over, and then the opening theme song saying Wanda everywhere, and then Vision pops in just at the end. That was really interesting because kind of the show has been all about Wanda, and it's all stemming from her, and Vision's kind of an afterthought or an attachment or I had this question, I brought this idea up a few episodes back. What is Vision? Is he fully sentient? Is it fully him? And then we learned since then that, he's been reanimated basically by her and somehow given life again, through the scope of her powers or whatever. But like, what is he and who is he? And it's interesting because Darcy gives him like she catches him up while they're driving from the circus back to his house, on what's been going on and all that. And that's really interesting. According to him, it's only been a few weeks since he died, which is interesting, which I don't know, but this is post blip. Maybe he meant for him it just feels like a few weeks because he's been in the show back on air for just a few weeks. I don't know. It's a little hard to say. Well, I guess when would everything have happened? I guess this is a post. This would make sense for this to be post Endgame was the second one, right? Because if everything's been snapped back, Monica got snapped back, and that's why she was able to be there for Sword. So anyway, trying to puzzle out the timeline, but I don't really care to do that. Anyway, it just seemed like an interesting thing to discuss for a moment, but that moment has passed. So anyway, but yeah, like her reaching over and it echoing Vision's death, because he's not there anymore. She's looking for her husband who's not there. And then she's a single mom. And I mean, they do talk about Vision, the kids. They're like, hey, when's dad coming home or whatever? And she said something like he can go if he wants to go. He doesn't have to stay here. And that was interesting because that honestly, in one of the cutaways where she was having the personal interview with the producer or whatever, she said something like, "Oh, did I go too dark?" Saying whatever. I actually didn't catch what she said. It was kind of funny in the moment. I couldn't hear what she said, and I thought I'm not gonna rewind it. It's fine. It's just just a sitcom, right? But she questioned if she was too dark. But even saying Dad doesn't have to be here, that seems a little dark. Seems a little heavy. A little too true. I mean, a person's free to leave whenever they want. Doesn't mean they should. Doesn't mean it's right, but they can. So that was interesting. But I really felt like her spiraling out of control, and everything going all fritzy is supposed to be like a reflection of her mental state, or her how she is with Vision gone and without Vision being there for her. So I dug that a lot. And I really liked during the interview that he's like, why am I here? I need to go to my wife. And then he it's weird because then it cuts to him being inside the van with Darcy, and then he just flies off. So I don't know, like, it'd be interesting to know if things are supposed to be happening real time or not, or how that all works. Is it compressed? Is it decompressed? Who knows? But it was a really interesting moment where it cut from him walking off of screen. He goes out of screen, and the next thing you know, he's in the truck with Darcy, and then he phases through the roof, flies off to go to Wanda. And I'm hoping that'll get him to Wanda as she's entrapped by Agnes now in her basement in this dungeon hellscape looking thing. And I don't know, it's interesting. I really liked the moment of Monica going through the anomaly, passing through the barrier. I liked that we got to see all these different visions of herself, visions of herself and versions of herself, and that at the end they all consolidated into one, and that she was able to push through. And then we got to see some indication of her powers. She had a different sight where she could see she could see the electromagnetic wave spectrum, if that's the right way to say it. She could see electricity and things like that. She had this distorted, altered vision, and then she was able to it looked like she was activating some of her powers when Wanda was trying to toss her around at the end when she was confronting her. And that was pretty interesting. Wondering what exactly her powers will look like manifest in the show, and if like that little thing about let's save our town, if Wanda and Vision and Photon or what's the other name? I don't know if she's gonna be Photon or if they're gonna call her Captain Marvel, because everybody, the military lady kept calling her Captain. So anyway, either way, I don't know the character, so I'll be happy to be introduced fully. I'm learning the character, and I like her so far. I like that she had this grit and determination, and that only by utilizing that she was able to get through the barrier. And something about that stick-to-itiveness, might be what grants her her powers. So that's interesting. And well, I could get into why it's granting her powers, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and stay right here. So wrapping up in conclusion, I really like this episode. It does kind of stink that the runtimes include however much credits or whatever there are, but that's okay. it's not a huge deal. It actually worked out for me today because it's going to be a busy day, and I realized that with the episode length, hey, there's going to be like 6 minutes of credits or whatever. And fortunately, I started making my notes and I kept this running so that I can get this out produced and published the way I want it to be. And while I was doing that, there was a little post-credit scene, or mid-credit maybe, I don't know, probably post-credit, where Monica actually makes her way to like the cellar, Agnes's cellar, I'm assuming, the cellar doors, and Pietro, I think it's Pietro, pops up behind her and he says something about her being sneaky, or like sneaker's gonna sneak, snooper's gonna snoop, something like that. And I don't know, that was interesting that there was a post-credit scene. I don't think there's been one before, but I've always skipped out, so maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. I don't know. But yeah, I expect things will escalate. I'm pretty sure it's a 9 episode run, so between 9 minutes, between episode, I mean, there's 2 left. There's 8 and 9, and hopefully it'll be not just a big climactic battle. That'd be stupid. But I'm really interested to see where they go, how they're gonna like fuse this and make it an emotional, personal battle that also involves like witchcraft stuff. And it'll be really interesting to see how Agnes fights, or how Agatha, I should say, how she fights and what she does. And then at the end, where she ensorcelled Wanda, there was purple vision in her eyes or whatever. I wonder if that means she has mental control over Wanda, and that means that she's been manipulating her this entire time to orchestrate everything. And maybe Agatha doesn't have the power to do what Wanda does, but she has a different power set and she can manipulate Wanda to do whatever she wants her to do. Which is an idea I love from a villain. It reminds me of Pusher from X-Files. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Check out mgwinners.com for all my stuff, / STC for the Swing Through Comics page. You can follow along with all these episodes. And you can see the other comics stuff I've been covering. Talked about some Tokusatsu comics with The Rise of Ultraman. Talked about some Star Wars comics. I covered Spider-Man Life Story, which was really great. I've also covered The Mandalorian. You can find links to that on the website or on the channel here. So anyway, go ahead and check all that stuff out. I would really appreciate that. Until next time, folks, take care. Peace and blessings to you, and I want to ask or encourage you that you would be the hero that you needed in your most desperate hour. And with that, I'm out of here, folks.